Hello, and welcome to Candidates Forum 2021. My name is Ed Miller, and I am here with Candidate-at-Large, Gary Keith. Gary, thank you for coming down.
Thank you very much for having me, Ed.
Now, before we start, tell us a little about yourself and why you feel you would be a good choice for Councilor-at-Large.
Well, I feel that I'm a good choice for Councilor-at-Large because, for one, I ran the first time in 2013, and I've been consistent and persistent as far as running in 2015, 17, 19, and again in 21. So I gained that experience. I've also sat on a true government board by sitting on the planning board and the zoning board, both for 4 years each, serving the city of Brockton, the businesses and the residents of Brockton. And I just been out here after you get the bug to actually, once you start serving, you just serve. You know, I've been there to help the residents of Brockton, and it's just something I like doing.
Mm-hmm. What do you believe is the most important issue that is facing the city councilors today?
Transparency and accessibility. I don't believe that there is transparent. You know, people know what's going on. Mm-hmm. During the, what's happening in our government as far as when a budget, what's going on as far as when a budget is coming in front of them or whatever. I think them getting the word out and the message out of the meetings that are coming forth, basically are far and few in between, so people don't know about it. And accessibility, because as I go out and around and knock on doors, and I've been doing it, like I said, for a few elections now, I hear the same thing. And that's basically is that the residents do not know who their councilors are. They don't know how to get in touch with them, and I think that that's a big problem.
And what are the recommendations that you have to have the council move forward?
Well, first of all, for me, as the next Councilor-at-Large, I'm going to be accessible and I'm going to be visible in the city. You know, I think it's, first of all, I'm retired right now, so I'm going to be a full-time councilor if elected, or when elected. And so you're going to see me out there. I'm going to be helping people when they call me, when they need me, or whatever. I'm not going to be at a full-time job, you know, to where I can only get back to them, you know, after 5 o'clock, after my day is done from a regular job. So I think that's going to be something that's actually going to work in my favor for the, not in my favor as far as being elected, but in the favor of the residents of Brockton, you know, that they do have a councilor that's going to be available for them during the day.
Mm-hmm. Now, for someone who has a radio show like myself on Sundays, I have a lot of people who come up to me and ask me questions, and one of them is by small business owners. They have expressed that they have a frustration of trying to deal with City Hall and getting their permits and getting the permission to do the work they need. The length of time, especially, of opening a business in Brockton is a lot longer than in other communities.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you would do to try to help these small businesses get things done in a timely and not an overly costly manner?
Yes. Well, as I spoke before at some of my events, one of the things that I would do when elected, basically, is that, and I agree that it does take a long time. Sitting on the planning board and zoning board, it has taken some businesses 18 months to 2 years, maybe a little bit longer sometimes to open up, and some of them have lost interest and moved to other towns. Mm-hmm. As far as me being the next councilor, if I'm contacted, I will actually help each and every one of them, one by one if I have to take them to the various departments, you know, to get the information together, you know, from the department head, you know, wherever they need to get signed off at, and to actually put them in contact with whoever might be in charge of that department, so that there's an accountability, okay, behind it, that so we can streamline that process. I'll work with them during, you know, through their paperwork. You know, we have residents, some that don't understand, English that great, and sometimes, I mean, and I don't speak any other language myself, but at least together, you know, we can try to work through that and streamline the process instead of them just being thrown some paperwork to fill out, you know, and then they come back and it's not correct. You know, so I think it's on the city. I think it's on the department heads. I think it's on the councilors because I look at the councilors as ambassadors to the city. Okay, it all starts here. We can't put it all solely on the mayor. You know, we have to be the example, right, of helping people streamline this process and getting it through and holding department heads accountable.
Thank you. And now, this isn't in the purview of the council, but being a councilor, you would have to deal with this issue. Now, 3 years ago, we signed a contract for the waste management, where a lot of people are upset. First of all, right off the bat, the barrels are so small that even a family of 2 have an overflow.
Yes.
The other issue they have is the trash bags that we have to purchase. First of all, it was 5 for $5, now it's 4 for $5.
Correct, yes it is.
Second of all, to buy those bags is really a 350% increase than if someone just walked to the store and bought them in a supermarket.
True.
What are some of the feelings that you will bring, at least talking to the mayor, whoever that may be at the time, on the new contract that would actually benefit the residents of this city?
True. Well, one of the things, again, that I've always said in my, whenever I ran for office is that we need to negotiate from a position of strength and not a position of weakness. And that also includes, you know, the next contract that we sign with Waste Management, or is that Republic, I think it is, right?
Yes.
But as any resident has seen, I'm a resident here at Brockton, the barrels are basically, they're 35 gallons, okay? You know, that's 3 tall kitchen bags and it's full, okay? And like you said, that's for an average household, okay? My household being a little bit larger, I'm spending probably about $10 a week, okay, to buy the green bags, $40 a month. And then on top of that, they went from 5 bags down to 4, okay? I believe we really need to renegotiate that contract with them. We need to get 2 barrels that are the same size, one recyclable and one and the other one, the one for everyday trash, the same size. And then we need to go back to 5 bags for $5. I don't think that, and even that there, you know, depending on how we word the contract, I don't know who that $5 goes to. I think the $5 goes straight to Republic, and the city doesn't benefit a dime from that. I think that needs to change a little bit too, you know, to where the city can benefit a little bit from it and maybe lower the cost on for us there.
Okay, and as a city council, Councilor-At-Large, you were required to vote on issues in support of the overall city. How would you vote if casting the vote was not favorable with a good portion of the residents of Brockton?
That is a tough question and a very good one. But at the same time, again, I spoke about how when I sat on the planning board and the zoning board and what the councils have to do now, there are tough decisions that they have to make. There are some votes that they make and that we made when I was on the planning board and zoning board aren't always, everyone's not going to always agree with them. But for whatever is best for the city, and that's what the overall, when you look at it, that decision still has to be made. And, you know, you try to lessen it as much as possible, you know, to against one section of the city. But at the same time, you got to look for the better decision for the whole. You know, you got to look at the decision for the whole city, you know, and it has to be made.
Okay, and currently, all the ward and city councilors run for a 2-year term. Do you feel, do you agree or disagree that a 4-year term may be better or not better? And also, do you feel that the councilors now should be full-time instead of part-time? Because we are a mid-sized city with 105,000 people.
Correct.
But what is your opinion on what would work?
Well, you were definitely correct. We are a full-time city. You know, we're a big city, a major city, and it's a full-time city that needs full-time representation. So I would agree that the mayor position in the councils at large need to be 4-year terms. I do agree with that, even though I would look at having the mayor's race and the councilor's race on off years, every off 2 years, so then no one could actually align themselves with anyone else, and the mayor would have to realize that he would be could be working with 2 different councils. And I think that keeps everyone on their heels, keeps everyone sharp with that goal. So I would, if it ever came up, I would support that it be a 4-year term, and I would support it being a full-time position.
All right, well, thank you very much. Now you have a couple of minutes to talk directly to the people of Brockton on why you would be the best person to vote for city council.
Well, I feel that I would be the best candidate for city councilor at large because of the fact that experience matters, and it's that experience that sets me apart from the rest of the group. I have served on the planning board and the zoning board, which are 2 comprehensive boards directly under the city council and the mayor. I did that for 4 years. I made those tough decisions. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, been married for 35 years and raised my 7 children. I grew up in Dorchester to a divorced mother, and I had 6 siblings. My mother was also a foster parent at that time there. So we were brought up basically knowing that to work hard, get an education, and to work hard, and to treat people correctly, okay? My mother put those values in us, and basically coming up, my brothers and I, we look back at each other and we think that we thought we were rich, but other than that, we were actually very, very poor, and with me having a big family, the values that I seen in my mother basically helped me become the man that I am, helped me to raise my family. Having a large family, it was hard to make ends meet. You know, I robbed Peter to pay Paul. I worked a lot of overtime. You know, I walked in a lot of people's shoes, and which gives me the insight of what everyone in Brockton goes through, because we have people who are financially secure. We have people who are very low income. I walked in all those shoes. So basically it gives me a perspective to understand every citizen of Brockton that lives here, you know, and we have a melting pot, which is great, and that's what makes it so great, but we also need someone that understands where we're coming from. You know, when they come to me and they're telling me what their issue might be, each one has a different issue, but I can understand it all. So with that being said, I'm going to be a full-time counselor. I have the experience to get up and running from day one. I've been out here running to represent you. I'm not doing it by a fly-by-night. I've been consistent with the position I'm running for, which is Councilor-At-Large, each and every time. I wasn't trying to get in to fit in. And I'm here to actually be transparent, honest, work hard, accessible, and I don't have any personal agenda. My only agenda that I have is to represent each and every resident and business owner in the city of Brockton. And so my name is Gary Keefe Sr. I'm running to be your next city councilor at large, and experience does matter.
Okay. Well, Gary Keefe, that's all the time we have today. I want to thank you for coming down for this interview and telling us your views on the position of councilor at large.
Thank you.
And remember, don't forget that the citywide election is November 2nd, and it's only you who can decide on who sits on the council. My name is Ed Miller. I want to thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great day.